Hello everyone, and welcome to the second introductory video entitled Dispositionalism and the Metaphysics of Institutions. It sort of sets out the metaphysical framework from which I'm working in my main presentation. Dispositionalism is a term that refers to the trends, the groundswell of literature in contemporary analytic metaphysics that takes powerful properties of entities, dispositional properties of entities, to be metaphysically irreducible, or in the case of pan-dispositionalism, even to mean that all properties are powerful, or you have power structuralism, saying that there's nothing else but powers. The differences within the literature among these different trends or varieties of dispositionalism doesn't matter for this presentation, but I am very sympathetic towards this project, and I'm working from within that project. I'll be using powers and dispositions and lots of other similar terms, mostly interchangeably. One could criticize that use, but I'll stick to that usage here. It basically means that I am assuming the metaphysics of institutional reality to be fundamentally dispositional in nature. So imagine, think back to John Searle's opening scene of his 1995 book, sitting in a cafe in Paris, and with all these invisible institutional events and properties floating around. If we accept dispositional properties to be real, or to be even the most fundamental reality there's no problem accounting for their invisible, weightless nature, as Searle calls it, if we simply assume them to be dispositional in nature, not manifest, but nevertheless real, really present there. The fact that that a house can change hands without anything visible about it changing simply means that the dispositional properties of the house have changed. Dispositional properties of the house in courts, for example, will be assigned the owner. That has changed, but nothing physical, that is nothing that is at this point manifest about the house has changed. What is very specific for institutional reality then, as opposed to the more mundane dispositional properties of fragility and elasticity and flammability or whatever, is that institutional properties, the deontic powers that make up institutional reality, are ultimately grounded in, based upon a very specific two-way human power that Searle calls the gap, in order to avoid talking about free will. But Searle is very clear about the importance of the gap to have institutional reality at all. And I subscribe to that position, and lots of other people don't subscribe to that position, but that way you know where I'm coming from, or where I'm starting from in my argumentation. Searle even explicitly says that the powers of the president are real even when not manifest, and that there's no pun intended in comparing the horsepower of his car with the powers of the president, that they're real even when not manifest, and it is sort of a key mark of dispositionalism, that you accept the reality, or you presuppose a metaphysical reality of powers or dispositions, even when they're not manifest. Dispositional talk is not mere shorthand to talk about manifestations, about what would happen in these cases. So I'm presupposing, I've argued for it elsewhere, that institutional reality is of a dispositional nature. It's a dispositional structure based on a specific human two-way power of the gap of free will.